Long ago, in the mighty kingdom of Babylon, there lived a man named Daniel. Daniel was no ordinary man. For decades, he had faithfully served kings and kingdoms. He had survived wars, political upheavals, and changing empires. While nations rose and fell around him, Daniel remained steadfast in his devotion to God. Now, Daniel was an old man. His hair had turned gray, and the years had left their mark upon his face. Yet his wisdom, integrity, and faith were stronger than ever. When King Darius took control of the kingdom, he quickly recognized something special about Daniel. Daniel was honest. He was trustworthy. He was wise. Most importantly, he could not be corrupted. Because of this, King Darius placed Daniel in a position of great authority over the kingdom. Soon, Daniel was overseeing much of the empire's affairs, but not everyone was pleased. Many government officials became jealous. They watched Daniel receive honor while they remained in his shadow. Their jealousy grew into resentment. Their resentment became hatred. Day after day, they searched for something they could use against him. They examined his work. They investigated his decisions. They watched his actions carefully. Yet they found nothing. Daniel was blameless. No corruption, no dishonesty, no scandal, no wrongdoing. Finally, one official spoke up. "We will never find any fault in Daniel unless it has something to do with his God." At that moment, a wicked plan began to form. The officials gathered together and approached King Darius. "Your Majesty," they said, "we believe a new law should be established." The king listened. For the next 30 days, no one should pray to any god or man except you. Anyone who disobeys should be thrown into the lion's den. The proposal appealed to the king's pride. Without realizing their true intentions, he agreed. The law was signed. And according to the laws of the Medes and Persians, it could not be changed. The trap had been set. The officials smiled. They knew exactly what Daniel would do. Daniel heard about the decree. He knew the consequences. He knew the danger. He knew that praying could cost him his life. But Daniel had spent his entire life serving God. He was not about to stop now. That evening, Daniel returned home. As he had done for years, he opened the windows facing Jerusalem. Then he knelt down, not once, not twice, but 3 times that day. He prayed. He gave thanks. He worshipped God, just as he always had. The jealous officials had been watching. They immediately rushed to the king. "Didn't you sign a decree forbidding prayer to anyone except you for 30 days?" The king nodded. "Yes, the law cannot be changed." The men continued. "Daniel has ignored your decree. He continues praying to his God 3 times a day." The king's face fell. Only then did he realize he had been tricked. He cared deeply for Daniel. All day long he searched for a way to save him. But the law could not be reversed. As the sun began to set, Daniel was brought before the king. Darius looked at him with sorrow. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Then Daniel was led away. Outside the city stood a massive stone pit. Deep within it lived hungry lions, powerful predators, ferocious hunters, animals capable of tearing a man apart within moments. The crowd gathered. Torches flickered in the darkness. The lions growled from below. Their eyes gleamed in the shadows. Daniel stood at the edge of the pit. Many expected fear. Many expected panic. But Daniel remained calm. His trust was not in men. His trust was in God. The soldiers lowered him into the den. The lions paced around him. Massive paws struck the ground. Their roars echoed against the stone walls. Then a heavy stone was rolled across the opening. The king sealed it with his own signet ring. Daniel was trapped, alone, surrounded by lions. The night had begun. Back at the palace, King Darius could not sleep. Food brought him no comfort. Music brought him no peace. He spent the night worrying about Daniel. Hour after hour passed. Meanwhile, inside the den, something extraordinary happened. God sent an angel. The heavenly messenger entered the darkness. The lions became still. The predators that should have attacked became calm. Their mouths were shut. Their violence disappeared. The lions that could destroy armies became harmless as lambs. Daniel remained safe, not because of his strength, not because of luck, but because God was with him. Throughout the night, Daniel rested under divine protection. The same God who created the lions controlled them. The same God who created the stars watched over his servant. As dawn approached, King Darius rushed to the den. The moment the first light appeared, he hurried to the pit. His heart pounded. His voice trembled. Standing at the opening, he cried out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?" For a moment, silence filled the air. Then a voice answered, a living voice, Daniel's voice. "O King, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not harmed me." The king was overwhelmed with joy. Immediately he ordered Daniel to be lifted from the den. The stone was removed. Ropes were lowered. Slowly, Daniel emerged. The crowd gasped. Not a scratch, not a wound, not a bite mark. The lions had not touched him. The Bible says Daniel was unharmed because he trusted in God. The king was amazed. The God Daniel served had demonstrated his power before the entire kingdom. But the story was not over. King Darius ordered the men who had falsely accused Daniel to be brought forward. The same officials who plotted against him now faced judgment. They were thrown into the lion's den. This time, no angel came. The lions immediately attacked. The outcome revealed what everyone already knew. Daniel's survival had been a miracle. After witnessing God's power, King Darius issued a decree throughout his kingdom. Every nation, every people, every language, they were commanded to honor the God of Daniel. The king declared, "He is the living God. He endures forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed. He rescues and saves." What began as a plot to destroy Daniel became a testimony to the power of God. The enemies of Daniel failed because they underestimated the God he served. The lions failed because they were no match for divine authority. The king learned that earthly power is temporary, but God's kingdom is eternal. And Daniel learned once again that faithfulness is never wasted. The story of Daniel and the lion's den continues to inspire believers thousands of years later. Many people face their own lions: fear, persecution, sickness, financial hardship, uncertainty. The challenges may be different, but the lesson remains the same. Faith is not trusting God when everything is easy. Faith is trusting God when you are standing at the edge of the lion's den. Faith is kneeling in prayer when everyone else says compromise. Faith is obeying God even when obedience carries a cost. Daniel could have hidden his faith. He could have remained silent for 30 days. He could have avoided trouble. Instead, he chose faithfulness. And because he remained faithful, God received the glory. The same God who shut the mouths of lions is still able to protect his people today. He still rescues. He still delivers. He still performs miracles. And sometimes the greatest testimony comes after the darkest night. For when God is with you, even a den full of lions can become a place of divine protection. And what the enemy intended for destruction can become a story of victory that inspires generations to come.